Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Neil's wearing a hat again today.
It's true.
And that's what we're going to talk about for today's
and Ryan
podcast.
is in Colorado.
I am in Colorado. I've been in Colorado for the last 3 days.
I know, but we get the picturesque Colorado background. This is the first time we've got that.
Thank you to good friend of the pod, Haps's Porch, who's coming out to say hi.
Yes.
So we're here today. We're probably going to spend more time talking about Neil's hat and the fact that I'm in Colorado than the actual show itself.
And hi, Neil. Sorry, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get you on one of these days, Happy.
He will. I mean, he'll be around for the next 3 pods also.
Right.
So there will be more to talk about in a future pod. But we've got a nice juicy 42-minute festival set to talk about today. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Lots to dive into.
42 whole minutes.
42 whole minutes. Can't believe they went on 8 minutes late for a 50-minute festival set.
I know. We're gonna have to get to the bottom of this.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We have a guest who was at the show. We've got Blaine here. How are you, Blaine?
I'm doing well. It was a long run from Wiltern to Santa Barbara to Ohana. We got rear-ended on the way up to Santa Barbara.
Oy.
No injuries, but the other car was totaled. So the fact that we drove on and made that second show was divine intervention. So I'll take it.
Glad to hear you made it. Glad to hear you guys are okay. That's good.
Yeah.
You made the show. Well, let's talk about this festival. Before we get to Goose's set specifically, I don't know where Dana Point, California is. But tell me about this festival. Tell me about what it was like yesterday.
So Dana Point is about an hour from downtown Los Angeles in Orange County, right on the beach. And so you basically pull into a park, and I think it's a state park, and they have it all set up. For Neil's benefit, the bathroom situation was pristine. Those porta potties were glistening. So that was cool. It did start raining, though, right at noon. So I think my wife and I got into the festival around 1:30. It was trickling with intermittent rain coming in and out. But the venue had everything set up. The 2 stages were next to each other. So you had the Ohana stage and the Tiki stage within eye line of each other. And so essentially it's like one band would be on and they would do the stage turn. And then as soon as the other band finished, you'd basically switch over. People would walk the 100 feet and then they'd start kicking it. So it was awesome. We came in for Amos Lee, who I had not heard. He was doing a solo acoustic and it was badass. I mean, that guy can play. And then there was some British grunge. And then Charlie Crockett came on. I would highly encourage anyone, if they haven't gotten down with Charlie Crockett, he was surprisingly fantastic, just a professional musician to the utmost. It was still raining during that set, and the vibe was a little low, and you were kind of like, ooh, how's Goose going to deal with this? But then it started getting better, and then Lucius came on, and they just, poof, they blew the roof off the place. They're responsible for one of my favorite slow readies at the Greek. So it's like they are good Goose energy. Like they just, I don't know, they get the band kind of going. So the sun started coming out. They ripped it. They came off stage into the audience and just started railing. People loved it. So it's like by the time Goose got on, everybody was warm and chill and ready to rock and roll. So that's sort of the setup. Yeah, it was amazing. Food was good. Lines were chill.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And I was getting ready to see Snarky Puppy again last night, so I missed the stream. But Neil, we had a nice Mixler. What was their commentary on the level of Friday's Mixler?
No commentary, but good news. Kevin Johnson might do a halftime report tonight from Vegas. So stay
tuned online for a Mixler link to be shared. I think it's circulating already, but yeah, he is depending on the vibe and his battery and the connection. We might get another halftime report, which would be lots of fun.
Incredible. Last one was super fun. So I don't think that Kevin Johnson was at the show, but he helped orchestrate Andy Keats getting us a stream. And
So
we
thank
got
you.
one. And it was another high quality stream. I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it out there, but there's something going on.
Well,
Stream of the
42
year.
minutes. Stream of the. I feel like Friday was stream of the year.
Yeah, I mean that stream was just a godsend. I mean, we thought we weren't going to hear any music at all. I was just kind of moping around the house. I was going to have somebody text me the songs for the podcast set list, and then all of a sudden we had a stream.
Poof.
And then we got a halftime report, which is like far beyond expectation. You know, all kinds of antics. Cam was on it doing improv comedy, apparently. I don't know, all kinds of things. So
Yeah, well, let's talk about this Goose set here. As we said, 42 minutes of glory. California Magic, Turn Clouds, Silver Rising, Hunger Sight, and Arcadia. Blaine, take me through this 42 minutes. I think this is the most songs that Goose has ever played in a 42-minute span.
Yeah, there was no fuss, no muss. It was, I felt like the band didn't expect a lot of fans to be there. It was like they were coming at it almost as if like an introduction to our band. Like, here's what we do. Peter came out at some point in the set and said, hey, we usually play 3-hour songs or 3-hour sets. This is a little weird for us, but we're, making it through. But they just, it was straight to the point. Almost, I would call it studio session Goose. Mm-hmm. It was crisp, clean, and just like laser focused. Turned Clouds was a nice addition because we went from rain to sun. So that had, people got it. I don't know if they did that intentionally, but everybody was like, hey now, all right, cool. And you're right on the water. So it's beautiful. The Cali Magic was pretty standard. But it reminded me of kind of if the band covered Goose playing California Magic, that's what you would get. It had that kind of rock and roll 60s vibe that was very cool and different. And my wife is not such a Goose fan. I just kind of make her listen, but she was like, I like this sound because it was crisp studio Goose.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Neil, you have any thoughts overall on this set?
I mean, they played, I expected all of these songs. I did win the Golden Goose last night. And Goose,
again. So
this podcast is a celebration of that, I think, today. Because, otherwise we got a 42-minute set of Goose to talk about. There really isn't much. So we should really talk about my victory a lot on this podcast. Maybe we'll come back to it. But let's see here. Yeah, I mean, Turn Clouds was the big surprise, right? Nobody saw that one coming, and it was really kind of the most extended song. Well, in Arcadia and Hunger Sight kind of went through its paces, but like I was surprised first when they played Turn Clouds, and then I was surprised when they were still playing Turn Clouds after like 9 minutes.
Right.
It's like, what's going on here? Like,
right. It wasn't the truncated version that you'd expect in a short festival set here.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So yeah, Hunger Sight was cool. I mean, Peter ripped it up on the piano. That was actually pretty exciting. And, Arcadia was like the festival Arcadia, which I have no complaints about.
Yeah, I love it.
You think back to like the Peach set and you get, 9 minutes of Arcadia, and it's hot, similar to Arcadia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's it. That's all you get. They did come on 8 minutes late. I don't know why.
Because it's Goose. They're giving the full experience. Okay, we can blame Jeff.
Yeah.
All right. Damn Jeff.
Yeah, it's Jeff's fault.
Yeah, he was probably, out in the crowd somewhere.
Doing the things that he does. The one thing that Peter did say from the stage last night, which I'm curious about, he said it was one of the most beautiful festivals he has ever played. So how did you feel about that there? Like, what is like the setup of that place that kind of made it so outstanding? Is it just because of the location, or?
Yeah, so you have the stage set up and it's facing just rows of palm trees, and you could actually hear people on the beach at some point. I think Eddie Vedder was like, "Beach people, yeah," and so you're just like the water's lapping up. It's just picturesque. I mean, it's a postcard spot. I heard someone saying the story behind it is that Eddie Vedder used to surf there before his Pearl Jam days, and that's kind of his connection to the venue. But yeah, I mean, you walk back from maybe 100 yards, and your basically feet would be in the water with the sun setting over the ocean and the palm trees. And they had beautiful lights set up over the palm trees. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Wow, that sounds gorgeous.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it makes, for the listeners, the Silver Rising at the Wiltern, and then compare it to Silver Rising at Ohana, you get a flavor for how the sound was different. Mm-hmm. So it's two sandwiches. One's, an Italian hoagie, and one's peanut butter and jelly. They're both really good. It's just two different vibes for two different situations.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
the crowd definitely digged it too. I mean, there were a lot of Goose fans there. I think they showed up and showed out. And I hope the band noticed, because maybe originally, I don't know that they expected that. And then everywhere you turn, Goose hats, Goose shirts, people knew the music. It was really impressive. So
that's always amazing to hear when you go to a festival, especially again, a 50-minute set, that I assume being booked in that slot, like, a late afternoon, under an hour set, like, not expecting to have a huge audience or a ton of people who know them. And so, yeah, that's really cool that there was a huge showing from the Goose fan base yesterday. So,
yeah, another interesting thing said from stage last night. Peter was saying, we're so grateful to be part of this family now. So I thought that was interesting. So what does that all mean? So they might be back.
I know the Wiltern gig was put on by the festival on Friday. Like that was like a festival adjacent gig kind of thing.
Really? I'm actually surprised that Eddie Vedder's so kind of hooked into Goose. I didn't think he'd be really into jam bands, but
I mean, maybe he's not, but people,
their promoters
business people are.
Yeah. But you have to assume he does some kind of curating of the bands that play with him. But,
yeah. Something like that. Well, I believe that wraps up today's pod. This might be the shortest day after show ever.
You want to talk about Fantasy Goose really quick?
I thought you already did.
I can walk you through my thought process.
I thought you already did.
No.
I thought you already did talk about Fantasy Goose.
I just wanted to remind everybody that I won Fantasy Goose last night.
You're the all-time leader for number of golden geese, blah, blah, blah.
That's 3. I got 3 golden goose.
But I'm still ahead of you, so...
not for long, too.
What do you mean? My lead over you has widened over the last 2 shows.
Oh, no, certainly didn't last night.
Neil, I still have 12 points on you.
Oh, 12? All right.
We were tied. We were tied 4 days ago.
I'm going to destroy you now.
Listen,
that's
I'm 50 points out. I'm 50 points out of first. This is so doable.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back tomorrow to recap Vegas tonight. Will there be another Elvis impersonator appearance? We'll find out. But it is very, very nice because we do have, for the first time since Thursday, it's been so long, we do have an official webcast. So we will be able to tune in and watch live in incredible quality. I think we should get Kevin's separate commentary to be broadcast over the webcast, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
that should be something that happens.
I enjoy the TED tapes, but I really enjoy Kevin Johnson's commentary. So,
well, thank you so much for joining us today, Blaine. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sharing your Ohana experience with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I would just say shout out to the band, because I think that type of set is like disarming a bomb. It's very, very hard to lock in quick enough, execute, keep a bunch of people who are all in all sorts of phases and headspaces locked in. And I think they did that. So that to me is just shows the growth of this band. Cause that's not an easy thing to do. Mm-hmm. So it was ripping. I hope everybody enjoys it and gets a listen when the Borths are up. So
amazing. I'm looking forward to checking it out. We do have a question here. 10:30 Eastern time start for tonight's show. Not sure. The doors are at 6:00 Pacific, and so I assumed it would be around then. But good friend of the pod, Captain Incredible, Jeff, did note that last year, the Vegas show, the doors were at 6, and they didn't go on until 8:45 or so. So it could just be super early doors for a Vegas show. And it would make sense that they kind of start late. I'm not expecting there to be really a curfew because it's Vegas. So, we'll see. Stay tuned. But don't be surprised if the show starts a little bit later. Obviously, we will be on call, ready to post the set list whenever it does start. But yeah, so enjoy the show tonight, whether you're there, whether you're webcasting like us, and we will see you back here 3:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Got some great guests coming on, a member of Team Ryan, as well as a good friend who I've been waiting to get on this podcast for a while for him to see another show. So look forward to that tomorrow. Thank you again, Blaine, for joining us. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. See you tomorrow.